that I wanna play. Just tell me that you're on your way. Cause I can't wait another day. And I know you wanna play. Girl, I know the spots that'll make you hot. Maybe ready or not, you know. Girl, I know the place. It's within your place. Tell me that you're on your way. Yeah, that you're on your way. Yeah, baby, don't keep me.
Take my mic. Take my mic. Take my mic. Take. Tony Turn. Take my mic. DJ Rico. Wait a minute. Hell Productions. We putting it down, baby. Sing it to 'em right here, Tony.
I got a feeling I can't ignore. Girl, I've never been known so sure. Needing you more and more. Gonna show you what I have in store. Tricks and games that I wanna play. Just tell me that you're on your way. Cause I can't wait another day. And I know you wanna play. Girl, I know the spots that'll make you hot. Maybe ready or not, you know. Girl, I know the place. It's within your place. Tell me that you're on your way. Yeah, that you're on your way. Yeah, baby, don't keep me.
What's up, Bomb Squad? This DC Kool-Aid.
Hey,
Uh-oh, I gotta turn my headphones. I forgot. We're gonna have it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe like right now, please. But anyway,
hey, y'all. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I may go silent for a second because I'm trying to put my headphones on. See, I always be trying to do stuff. That's why I'm putting my headphones on. See and done. Excuse me, y'all. All right. How we doing this Saturday? It is almost over again, y'all. This is another month gone. Black History Month is almost over. They did give us the shortest month of the year, but hey, we work with what we get. So it's from the title, you know, we about to talk about people. So let me preface this by saying, I'm not talking, well, we're using the video that at some point DC is going to show us as an example. And maybe I am talking about the people in the video, this lady, this mom in the video in particular, but this goes out to everybody. And if this is you that we're talking about, I don't feel bad about talking about you, okay? If it's not you, then it don't matter. Because people get, I want to start this by saying people get a little butthurt when we start talking about things to when it comes to children and taking care of children and parenting. Because all parents think that we are the best at the job of parent. When in reality, the job of being a parent is incredibly, incredibly hard. It is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it is for the rest of your life and into your next life. Because when you leave, your kid's still here. Your legacy lives on. So parenting never ends. At some point, you're a grandparent, a great-grandparent, a great-great-grandparent, and shit, at some point, you're an ancestor, but your parenting never ends. And it is a thankless job. And it ain't for everybody. Let me start by saying it. It ain't for everybody. Everybody shouldn't be somebody's mama or daddy. Just because you have a sperm and an egg, sometimes you need to leave your DNA where it's at in your body. And I said all that to say this. Happy Saturday, y'all. You ready, baby? All right. How you doing, Leilani? I ain't seen you in a long time. I miss you. Hi.
All right, I put that on the stream. Hold on.
All right.
Did that part.
I hate that when I put my headphones on, it still come through the my phone. I don't want it to come through my phone.
You gotta
Makes
figure
no
that out.
sense. It irks me to no end.
Murray from GW.
Hey, Miss Bear, how you doing?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna play different parts of this video, so we don't get copyright. We gotta talk about it in order not to get copyright. So.
He keeps pointing to this one. I've never seen this little boy before.
Monday, April 1st, 2024, Elyria, Ohio. Police receive a call from a woman who reports finding a 2-year-old child walking alone without an adult in sight. The officers are dispatched to the location to assist the child and get him back home, unsure of how long the child has been out there by himself. They need to find his family before it gets any colder and before the little one starts to get scared. I'm Tyler, and this is your daily dose of crime.
So this little guy is out here. He out here wandering the streets. When did they say that was? Like can you hear me? When did they say? I didn't grasp what they said when it happened.
Oh, I don't know when it happened. I ain't about to lie. I don't remember when they said it happened. The little boy got his coat on. I don't think it'll paid attention to that. The little boy has his coat on. Now Penelope is too. And she still needs us to put her coat on.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure she could put it on. But the little boy has his coat on.
Right.
And most children of that age, maybe they can, maybe they can't. He got his coat on.
Okay.
So she acts like keep going if you want to. Oh, you might want to fast forward to the mama, because all these other people, all this other.
Wait, we can go to this part right here.
Because the filler is just people talking about they ain't never seen the little boy, they don't know the little boy,
might not
and
have
it's the
even been
cops
from
walking
the area
around.
and could have walked much farther than the officers originally thought.
He keeps pointing to this one.
This way. Well, I think he might be confused.
Come on, let's go try down
And
here.
during the time that they had the little boy, he took him to several different apartments, and he's not afraid of people.
Do you recognize any of this? Here?
Because he talked to the lady that initially called the police. He walked up to several different apartments. So he's not afraid of people. He's a very gregarious and intelligent little boy.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I think all the apartments, well, they look like townhouses or something. They all look alike to him. So he's not sure what direction to go.
Yeah, but it ended up him not being in the apartments that he was found in. It ended up being in apartments.
Can we not get to that part yet?
Oh, my bad.
Fast forward.
Because all that other stuff is just filler. Most of that video is filler until you get to the mama. Because most of the video is the cops talking to the little boy, and the little boy really can't tell them anything. It's the people who don't know anything. They just keep talking to him because they want a filler for their video. It's the mama near the end that's the problem.
But he's gonna start uploading to social media.
Yeah, I can take the kiddo back if you want to do that. You have all your notes and stuff.
Yeah, I got everything.
Right?
I got there.
Yeah. Come on, buddy. Let's go back. All right, come on, buddy.
But the crazy part, they went to several. I want to go to
Hey,
they went to several people's houses.
Well, that's because he kept pointing to him. If you listen to it, the cop will tell you he keeps pointing to the different apartments.
I don't know.
I told him, I'm like, she got a little boy, but that ain't him. No, you know my son.
Hey, dear. I know you usually know like everything that's going on, so I'm like,
Hey, how you been?
And the cop looked like he knows this lady right here, so he said, "I know you
you
usually
helped
know."
us last time we were down here, so.
No. Yeah, I got a house full since Easter. I've never seen this little boy.
All right, come on, buddy.
That might make sense, actually.
Is it over here somewhere?
Hodge.
Possibly.
Hopefully.
How long was he with you guys?
He was with us probably about 10 minutes.
The officers check with nearby residents to see if anyone recognizes the child, but no one does. They all say they've never seen him before. It's certainly
What's up,
troubling to start off with this kind of scenario because there's a real chance the child might not have even been from the area and could have walked much farther than the officers originally thought.
That's crazy. Can you imagine?
Now here's the thing. I'm not gonna say anything because when you have an area where there's a lot of little children, a lot of little kids, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and tell you I can tell you the difference between all the little boys and all the little girls, unless there's something distinctive about them, or unless they're extra bad. So, can you imagine? I'm gonna tell y'all something. All jokes aside, where I used to live at, we had projects. These look like the projects. The college I went to was in the middle of the projects. These look like the projects. So, there's a good chance that a lot of these are low income housing. So, most of the time, you have to either be disabled, elderly, or have kids to get in there. So, it's probably a lot of kids running around. And that's not to take away from the little boy and the situation, but I mean, it's not inconceivable to believe that even though the little boy does live in the area, that nobody recognizes him singularly by himself because maybe they normally see him playing with other kids. And realistically, if it's not our children, and I would love to think that it used to be like it used to be in the village, and everybody remembers every child. It's just not the way it is nowadays. But my issue is that when you start breaking the video down and looking at the video, the little boy has his jacket on. Now, normally, if a child decides he gonna get up and walk out of the house, most of them don't have the forethought. Let me put my jacket and my shoes on. Not just jacket, but shoes too. Think about it. Y'all in the house playing around. Your kids in the house playing around. Nick don't play in the, Nick didn't play in the house with his cousins playing around with their shoes on and their jacket on. So somebody got him dressed.
Thank you.
Or he got himself dressed to actively leave the house. Now, either
They said I can come at 2.
so either this child has been left alone enough to know how to take care of himself, or somebody got him dressed, maybe an older sibling or something.
Mm-hmm.
He got shoes and jacket on. Normally, when we see these things where some child has left the house, they leave the house and what they have on, they playing in right then and there. This child is dressed like he was getting ready to get in the car to go somewhere with his mom and them.
All right.
Go ahead.
Stressful situation for the child, so they then continue searching alone while letting the little one get some rest. How long will the search take? The police are starting to fear it could be a case of abandonment.
They found her? Are you mom?
Yes.
Where do you stay? What's your son's name?
Yash.
Here, come over here, man. Is there anyone else at the house? Or is it just you?
That's it's their dad's there right now.
Okay, so who was supposed to be looking after him?
Me. That's me.
Okay.
He just it had been like 20 minutes ago. I usually leave my screen doors locked because he opens my door and go out. This is the second time he's done it. And I called him. He was at the park. This was day before yesterday.
Okay.
He just started doing this. I don't play that. My kids don't come outside at all, play with other kids. They're always in the house. That's probably why, because he's always in the house. He wants to get out.
What's your name?
Debasia, DEBASHIA ROW.
This is your last name?
Yes.
ROW.
SER. I got 4 kids too. It's not the same.
My question is, why didn't she act like she was hysterical? Like, why she didn't act like, like when you lose your kid and you finally see him, you were like, you know what I'm saying? She ain't had no reaction.
All right, y'all. Here's where I'm about to come in and piss, I'm almost sure, at least one person off. I am one of the people, because I was a single mother with very little help. I'm one of the people who do not have children that you cannot afford. Because quiet as it's kept, children need more than love. They need love, unconditional love, acceptance. They need discipline, but they also need a roof over their head, shoes on their feet, clothes on their back, food in their mouth, and at least some opportunities to do something, to do things. If you have so many children that your children moving in and out and going around doesn't phase you, this looks to be a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old. This is a child.
They say he 2.
He 2? He's
Yeah.
Penelope tall. Okay, Penelope tall. So let me get it right. Your 2-year-old got his jacket and his shoes on and has walked
Who knows?
very far away from his house. He's not out front playing. He's not in the street playing. He's walked away from his house. And you don't have any sense of urgency? Okay. I don't even know what to say.
Oh, let me move up then to this part. Hold on. I don't know why they made it like this.
So that card that we had for you, like I said, you go on there, it's going to pull up a whole list.
So they done took her in.
You can point in the direction.
Because her son was at the police station.
It's first off, the list on there for the resources goes everything from people who are homeless to everything that we deal with. But you will find a subsection that deals with kids who go through this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Another something that you might want to look into is our department offers a program called Project Lifesaver should he go missing again. If he is diagnosed autistic or any other special need, they do offer a program where they put a GPS tracker on him, because if he is demonstrating the ability this young to be able to escape a house, you turn your back.
Did they say he was autistic?
And then
he's saying if all of these plays.
What's crazy is that none of the other children said anything about the child leaving the house. Yeah. But see, we don't know whether or not the other children said anything, because the mother is acting like this is an everyday occurrence and that it's no big deal. I'm gonna tell y'all something. One time I was in the house, I had worked a lot of hours, and his cousins were there, and I dozed off. And they went outside. And Nick was a toddler. He hadn't been too long, started walking. He was outside playing with them. You cannot expect children to police other children. An adult was outside also playing, or her children were outside, and they had saw him start walking toward the road. They got him and brought him back to the house, because we all kind of watched each other kids. And she was like, he was getting ready to walk into the road. I got him. The other kids weren't paying him any attention. And I was like, from then on, I stopped sleeping during the day. From then on, I stopped sleeping during the day. because anything could have happened to my child as I dozed off because the other children were playing. But I brought the kids inside. I told them I wasn't mad. I said, it's not your job, and it's my job. And I felt some kind of way. I don't know if I wasn't hysterical, but I was lost because anything could happen to my baby. But I acted appropriately. I acted like I was lost. Now, did anything happen? He's 20 and he's in the army and but it could have. It could have happened.
Because this was an hour it took us to find him, or to find you, where he was out. Yeah, and that's
See, that's what I'm saying.
And she said 20 minutes.
I just don't, you know what I'm saying? When you got 3 other kids and you got.
And we have no idea how long the child had been gone from the house before he was found. Understand, the timeline of an hour is only from the time the cops got to the child until the mama got there.
And the other one's not schooled. Yeah, he'll be in school next year, but.
Who's homeschooled?
My oldest.
The 6, he's the only one that's 6-year-old?
Yes.
Or that's homeschooled?
Yes, that's
Okay.
school period.
And nobody else helps you with managing the home? Is the father in the picture?
He's in it.
Okay.
Like, he's there.
Does he help with the schooling and all of that,
Yeah.
and watching the kids?
Yep.
Okay, about how many days a month would you say?
2, like 3 days.
3 days a week? Is that like a full day or like a part of a day? Or
Part of the day.
how many hours would you say?
Probably like 5 hours, 6 hours.
5 to 6 hours. Okay.
I guess.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, she.
See, understand that we have no idea how long that child had actually been missing, how long that child had been away from his home. The hour timeline is only the timeline from the time that the cops got there or were called until they took him till they found a mama. That was it. He could have been gone all morning. He could have been gone since last night. Either way, my issue is with how the mama is acting. It's almost as though it's all right. I don't know. I don't know. I guess because I would have to ask other parents how y'all would react. Leilani. You know what I'm saying? You wake up and Shaylin is gone. She's 2. Her coat gone, her shoes gone. You know what I'm saying? Who you calling? I feel like the mother was still in her house.
Tay Bay says she acts as though it's regular occurrence.
But the mama was still in her house. She wasn't out in the street walking around looking for the child. They found her at her house. I'm confused. I'm confused.
Hold on.
And the officer can't quite put his finger on what it is.
I don't even let him go outside because, like, I know I don't want to seem like a bad, like but I don't want my children seeing the wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Be cussing
She's
and
sheltered.
Okay.
She
I don't
lying.
want my kids introduced to that type of stuff.
She's lying.
So I try to keep them away.
That child is outside. He is not scared to be outside. He is not scared of other people. He is not scared to go up to somebody because he went up to somebody's car. If y'all remember back to the beginning, the black lady who was initially talking to the police officer said he came up to my car, put his hands on the window, and he was sort of crying. He's not scared of other people. She lying to the police so she won't get in trouble.
So if
That what you do.
I had to phrase this in a politically correct term.
I don't want him to see stuff. He gonna see stuff. You can't. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Hold on, y'all.
This is how you would say it. Okay.
Yeah, just will.
I'm trying to read between the lines of what you're saying, but I'm trying to phrase it in a way. I just want to make sure you're in agreement with
Yeah.
that. So that would make sense why they don't see. Just like what was going on when obviously we did try knocking on. I think we tried knocking on your door. I'm not 100% sure because I did come back. Obviously, they did find you eventually.
Yeah.
Did they find you by knocking on the door?
No, I went out. I was on the phone with the person. I was just walking, and I seen people. They were like, "Are you looking for a little boy?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm running.
So you noticed he was gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm new to this stuff. This stuff don't happen to me.
There is a marker.
Pause that for a second. Who was she on the phone with? Did she call the police? We get up tomorrow, and the front door open, and Penelope gone in her jacket and her shoes. The first person he'll call is police.
Tay Bay said she wasn't looking for him.
The first person you saw. So you telling me that you get up, you notice that your child is gone. His shoes are here. I'm saying the shoes and the jacket for a reason. Because if y'all can look to other cases to when children have been caught outside or been, away from their house, they'd have had their pajamas on, they'd have had diapers on, they'd been barefoot, no jacket, no hat, nothing. This child had his shoes and his jacket on. Like he was getting out of the car and they been somewhere. He getting out of the car and she didn't pay attention and he walked off. He was dressed to go somewhere. And then all of a sudden, maybe they didn't go or maybe whatever, whoop-de-whoop. This child was not a child who just decided that when I got up from my nap or when I got up from bed this morning, I'm going to put on my jacket and my shoes and go out. She talking about she was on the phone with somebody, but the police did not know. The police were called by somebody who found your son because he came up to their car. But I homeschool my children because I don't want them to see things. I don't want them to hear people cussing. The hell? The fuck?
That's pretty much all I have. Let me go talk to my boss and then we'll see if we can get you out of here. Okay?
The details shared in the conversation become important for understanding the child's situation better, but something's off as the officer checks on Devashia Rouser's name in the police database. An old record would change the course of the entire investigation.
All right. Devashia, understand, you are going to be cited today for endangering children. Now, before you freak out about it, you have your day in court. You can explain what happened, that you were busy, preoccupied with your other kids. I am going to listen before you get upset. I am going to put everything in there about how he could possibly be on the spectrum and that we don't know which would work in your benefit.
Like, this is like so not fair. Like, it's not fair because I'm not, it's like.
Hey, sweetie, and like you told me to, you went out trying to find him. You tried to call him.
I was on the phone with
just understand from our side, it was an hour. We were starting to put his picture online. We had a lot of steps moving to try and find you because we couldn't. Okay, this is not the end of the world. At the end of the day, we are here to assist you. This is a simple go to court, make your case. They're going to read our report. Okay. So, we do have to contact CPS anytime a child goes missing. We reunite them with the family. That's why I was asking you the questions about home life. I don't see any issues as of right now with what you told me, but they're probably going to come out and just want to talk to you and say, hey, what's going on? All the same questions I asked, but probably a little bit more detailed. Okay. Getting discharge, it is like not the end of the world. You have court on Wednesday. It's going to be at 10 a.m. I don't even have a car. I have a car, but it's not even working right now.
Okay. I have 4 kids. I don't even have any help.
So what I'll do.
Pause it for a second.
So what I'll do.
All right, what Miss Addie say? Miss Addie said there's more sinister stuff happening in that apartment. The first time she showed emotion, I want y'all to peep that. First time she showed emotion is when she found out she was going to get cited for reckless and whatever she said, reckless endanger of the child or neglect or whatever, abandonment, whatever. The first time she showed any emotion was when she was going to get in trouble, when her parenting was coming into question. To when she knew. Here's the thing. Let me preface what I'm about to say about this. I do not believe in CPS or the foster care system because because the incidences of children being overlooked and children that shouldn't be being taken from their parents are much greater than what they do. Than the good that they do. Because if you listen to the horror stories from children that have been in foster care, you hear way more stories of children being neglected, abused, and just thrown away than you hear of these happy, smiling children that found their permanent forever homes out of the foster care system. It is a bad system and it is neglected, and they need to overhaul it and they need to do better because, as you can see, with them taking away the rights of women to be able to decide whether or not you should have 17 children as opposed to one, that there are going to be a lot more children in the foster care system than there were ever before. Because just because you take away a woman's right to not have a child does not mean that woman is going to miraculously want to have that child. She'll have it and it'll be thrown away. That being said, I said all that to say this. She didn't get emotional until CPS was going to be coming involved. And then you knew that the closed door that she could hide everything behind was going to have to be opened up to somebody. To somebody.
Interior. Garage.
She had to know that when the police became involved in the missing child that she had not reported missing. Hear what I'm saying? That child was not reported missing by the parent. That child was reported missing by somebody who found the child walking in the street.
I'm gonna move Brittany car.
Okay. She was down on the phone with the mom. My baby gone. I don't know what happened. The door opened. His siblings didn't know. I don't know what's going on. Somebody help me find my baby.
She didn't do none of that.
Lord, help me.
She didn't come up to the police officer.
No, she was kind of like, what? Stuck down and stuck. Being the child wasn't verbal, the officer was concerned maybe he was autistic. Well, now we come to find out the child is too. Now, while Penelope can talk and make sentences, I don't understand a whole lot of what she's saying. I just agree, and I make up stuff that sound like she might have said it. But that's my grandbaby, and I talk to her so that she can articulate. But most 2-year-olds cannot articulate the things that we really need to know from them. Yes, CPS is a failed system, and it gets worse, and it is going to get exponentially worse with the amount of children that are going to be born to people that do not want them. Understand this. Just because you have the ability to have a baby does not mean you want, desire, or need to have one. If history and society has shown us anything, it has shown us that everybody with the ability to procreate should not. Should not. I'm getting vocal about this. I'm not harping just on her specifically, but this is an issue that is a problem because children do not ask to be here. Children are not jumping up and down in a line in heaven or wherever going, hey, pick me. We are making conscious decisions and choices that bring about the existence of people. These are little people. Having sex, staying pregnant, getting pregnant, staying pregnant, having a baby, and taking care of a child are choices that at any time during that process, you can choose not to do. If you know that you do not have the financial backing or the familial backing to take care of a child, even at a basic level, you have to do all you can to make sure that that child does not come here. And I'm not saying that at some point you can't change your mind because situations change, times change. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that take this as an example of why not. She did not become emotional. She did not get emotional until she found out that she would have to bear some consequences because her child knows how to open the door. Let me tell you who else knows how to open the door. Penelope,
Mm-hmm.
our grandbaby, who for some reason I feel like just yesterday she came home from the hospital, but last night she was jumping on me like a WWE fighter. So clearly she is no longer an infant. So one day I was told by my wife, and I heard her mama saying something to her about her being able to unlock and open our front door. Now, understand that we live in a not a gated community, but we live in a closed community. We are right across the street from a park that she knows how to go to because her and her Gigi go to the park. She's also tall. Anybody seen her dad? Y'all know she's not a short baby. So it didn't dawn on us that at some point our infant little cute baby would be able to open the door. But she opened the door, go to the door like she grown. Do you know what happened the first time she did that? She got, well, y'all didn't punish her, but she got sort of punished because
Pop.
you don't have to pop. She got to pop up.
Yeah, she got pop. She got pop. Let me play this part. I'm not to go.
Wants them to come take their kids. Like I said, I talked to you about his home life. He's going for the other kids are going to school. You're doing your job. You're feeding them. They have beds. That's all going in there. So I don't see an issue coming of this, but they do have to follow up just because we've had an incident. So do you have any questions for me of what you can expect going forward?
No, I've been through this before when my oldest was a couple months old. So
Okay.
I mean, I know how it goes.
Okay. And again, that's not saying you're a bad person. I honestly think in this situation, I mean, with him being able to show that he can push a chair, like, and I will put that, I'll be like, we were talking about home life and he pushed a chair up to the door. And like I said, I mean, it's on my camera that he has that capability to do that. And if you're saying by, you know, he's 2 and he's dressing himself every day, that shows a high degree of intelligence. Okay. So, but Officer Hackney, if you wouldn't mind giving her a ride back home, make sure she takes this with her, and if she's got any questions, just answer. Awesome. Those 4 of them. Okay. Good.
Devashia Rouser has a previous record with the Lorain Police Department for leaving a baby unattended in a vehicle in 2022. She's currently out on probation after being summoned to a grand jury. The officers have now referred the case to Lorain County Children's Services for further investigation.
Knowledge.
All right. All right. The leaving the kids in the car thing. I'm not going to say it's a pattern because leaving a child in the car and your child being able to dress himself, push a thing up to a door, unlock the door, go out the door, and then leave the neighborhood. My thing is that this child was not found in the neighborhood. The child was not found in the neighborhood. Again, I'm back to the child being fully dressed. I want Penelope to be able to put her own coat shoes on. I do, because I know that a part of a child's growing up and learning is their independence. Is as time goes, they learn how to do things on their own, put on their shoes, pull up their pants, go to the bathroom, put on their jacket, put on their hat, put on their mittens. These are milestones in a child, and children should be able Yeah, that's why she started crying. Yeah, because somebody gonna come to the house. Um, these are milestones, and I want children to be able to do these things. I'm of the mindset, and this is just me and my own opinion and what I think. I want children to be almost two people. I want them to be children. I don't want a child to have to grow up fast. I don't want a child to have to be a caretaker or caregiver to another child. I don't think about whether or not my child is going to take care of me when I have to wear, when I'm too old to do me. I think, but I also think a child should be able to do things for themselves because it makes them feel better about themselves. It gives them a sense of accomplishment. It gives them a sense of independence that I want a child to have. I want you to be my baby, but I want that when the time comes, you can be your own person and do your own thing. And I think that starts young. I do. Penelope cannot put on her jacket by herself. I said all that to say this. Penelope can't not put her jacket on by herself. Right, right. DC just said, and he had his shoes on the right feet. Because the child just gonna put the shoes on. They don't care whether or not them shoes pointing west and east. They don't give a shit. They just gonna put them shoes on because we put our shoes on. They don't know that we looking at the toe, making sure the toe go where the toe go. All right, I love you. All they know is that mama put the shoes on and I'm about to put my shoes on. Now, I do the most time. Sometimes the children get it right. They sure do because it's a 50-50 thing. There's only two ways you can put a shoe on. So it's a 50-50 thing. But do a lot of time the children shoe be pointing east to west? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I want it's like I was watching somebody made a TikTok talking about all these people that don't want children now. Who's going to take care of you when you get old? I don't want Nick to take care of me when I get old. I don't want Nick to take care of me, to change my diapers and to feed me. I want him to live his life. I want him to come visit me, bring me flowers, sit beside me and laugh and talk about the old days. But I don't want him to have to feel like he has to take care of me because I took care of him. That was my job. My job let me tell you, there were a series of events that led up to my pregnancy. There were sexual encounters that led up to me being pregnant with Nicholas. At any time, I could have said no. The day that I got pregnant, I could have said, you know what? I got a headache. I don't want them. That was a series of choices that led to me. Well, I was like 20 weeks when I found out I was pregnant. So I was too far along. Even if I chose to exercise my right to choice, I was too far along when I found out because I was in a place called denial. I was 37 and I was all deep in denial. But once I came to my senses and realized that this baby was coming, whether I wanted him to or not, I made the choice that at no point will I not be his mom. At no point will he have to be my caretaker. At no point will he feels like he owes me anything. And I'm saying all this, I'm coming back. Hey, Pretty Chocolate, I like that name, girl. Anyway, and no, I'm saying all this, I'm gonna swirl it back to what we talking about initially. But I'm saying this because people think that their children owe them something because they have. I hear story after story after story after story of parents telling their kids, this is what you owe me for taking care of you. This is what you owe me for the food and the clothing and the house that I had to provide for you because I had you. You hear what I just said? I hear story. I've heard with my own ears, not some Reddit story on TikTok, not some random story on YouTube. I've heard with my own ears parents tell their children that they owe me everything. No, the hell they don't. I have heard the parents of young men signing to the NFL and the NBA talking about how they were integral to their child's success. Without me, they wouldn't be here. The fuck? Your children owe you nothing. They owe you nothing. You decided that this day on this time, I'm going to become somebody's mama. That was your choice. That wasn't theirs. And in making that choice, you also chose everything that comes along with raising that child. And outside of the monetary issues of raising that child, there is worry and doubt and insecurities. Because when and I'm gonna say this, and okay, real parents, we are scared every day. From the time we get pregnant to the time we leave this world about what's gonna happen to our babies. I don't care if our babies are babies or our babies are 55. We are scared of the hurt and the pain and everything that's going to happen to our babies that we have no control over. We worry about whether or not our children are happy, satisfied. We worry about whether or not this person is breaking our child's heart, this person is hurting our child's feelings, this job is using our child. We are worried because that is our job. And that is what we're supposed to do. That is what we signed up for. The title of parent is a beautiful one, but it is devastating. I doubted myself from the day that lady knocked on my door and brought me my baby, because I dozed off and he was napping, and his cousins decided he could go outside because he could walk now. I was devastated. He wasn't out of my sight at all for months after that, because I only had him for a year or so, but I couldn't imagine my life moving forward without him. Now add 2 or 3 more kids to that. Add to each child, even though they're yours, adds to the devastation of being a parent. Because all we look for is the beautiful and the glorious and the smiling. But when you sitting there and you trying to figure out how you gonna get your babies next this or next that, or you're upset because you don't have the money for your baby to do this and do that, or you're trying to figure out how you're going to get off work so you can see your baby in the play or watch your baby run up and down, half kick a soccer ball. Because you know if you lose this job, you can't do what you need to do for your baby. All of these are factors when you have children. Her not being emotional until it suited her pissed me off. Her not being more frantic that her youngest, her 2-year-old, was gone, pissed me off. Her saying I, me, pissed me off. Hold on, y'all. Yes, Nick is 20 years old. Nick is a grown man in the Army. The other night, I don't know. I think I might have been on. I think I might have said this before. The other day, he sent me a text. Now, understand that no matter how grown your children are, when they talk to you, they are your children, and they still talk to you like they 5. So he sent me a text. I forget what it was at night. He sent me a text at night, like 11, 12, saying, "Don't worry, Ma. I'm in the immersion room. I love you." What, sir? Hold on. For a second, my heart stopped. And in my head, Now, this grown man in the army on a base, I'm sitting up there thinking all kind of craziness. I'm like, is he run over by? What's wrong? And I mean, I guess he could work. It didn't dawn on me until after I'd had a momentary freak out about him being eaten by a serial killer that I realized if he was eaten by a serial killer, he couldn't text me. So by the time that my mind had ran through 13,000 ID channel scenarios, that I realized that, oh, maybe he just hurt himself on the way to, class or something. By that time, I had already had 3 heart attacks, a stroke, and lost my mind. I was completely retarded. By that moment, then I reeled it back in, and I texted him, and then he called, and he was in the emergency room. Him and because he's still not out of school and he's not at station, he has to have what's called a battle buddy. Him and another person. They can't be out alone. So he was sitting. So he FaceTime. So DC FaceTimed him and talked to him, and we saw him, and he's fine. He didn't know whether, he said that his classmates had scared him, thinking it might have been appendicitis, but it was on his left side, not his right side. And it was hard for him to breathe because he looked like he pulled a muscle or something. Anyway, none of those scenarios had nothing about a pulled muscle. Mine is an adult. Yes, Leilani. He texted me, "Hey, Mom, I'm in the emergency room. Don't worry, I love you." What? Sir, I'm almost positive that is not how you text your mama when you are 8 hours away driving. Yes, I'm almost positive. For a second, I got slow as hell and didn't understand how to read. I was like, wait a minute. I had to reread it 1,300 times before I read it right. I was like, what? So I told DC, she FaceTimed him, and he answered, and he was in the emergency room sitting there. He was saying it was hard for him to breathe. And if you know my wife, she asked 1,300 questions, and she was like, did you work out? Did you hurt yourself? What happened? He was like, yeah, I work out, and maybe I pulled a muscle, but it was just hard for me to breathe, and that's why I was worried. But then he wrote me a text saying my classmates had scared me, thinking it might be appendicitis and my appendix gonna burst. I'm like, what? Hello, sir, I need you to text Bella. But in the end, he said he's fine. He said he's feeling better. But that's how I felt. And that's a grown man. That's not a 2-year-old. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I don't know this lady. I don't know her life or what's going on. And that's why we listen and we don't judge things. I judge. See, we listen and we don't judge is a lie. Because we all judge. Even if we only momentarily judge before we get back and go, oh, we don't know these people's life. Before we go back to, oh, we don't know what kind of people like these, the life that they're living. And we don't know what happens behind their doors. We judge. And that's just reality. Hold on. DC has to be the calm one. Absolutely. Absolutely. People look at my wife and they go, oh, she the mean one. Oh, she the loud one. Oh, not me, loud one. Oh, she the one we have to worry about. And the reality is that is absolutely incorrect. She is not the one you got to worry about. So that means said. I watch ID channel for fun. So just understand that. That's like nighttime to me. I'll turn it on, and Eva lives here. We watched one last night. So she is not who you have to worry about. But that being said, I don't know this woman's life, and I don't know her in particular. But in general, and here is what I have to say. And this is, I don't know whether it's an unpopular opinion. I know that in the present political climate and what's going on in America and what's going on with women's rights and things like that, it may be unpopular, and it may be, and I'm not going to say misspoken because I don't misspeak. I say what I want and the consequences be damned sometimes. But here's my thing. Do not have kids that you can't take care of. Do not. If you know yourself and you know that you don't have the job, the money saved up, the family to back you up, the security in the relationship that you're in with this person that could potentially be the father or mother of your child. Because I'm not just putting this on women, I'm putting it on men as well. Uh-uh. I even have her location. Am I? Absolutely not. The only reason we don't have Nick on the 360 right now, I don't know why. I do know why. Because I didn't send him the text message that he needs to put on his phone, which now that you've reminded me, I'm going to send him the text message today so he can put it on there so I can look and make sure I see where his phone is at all times. Absolutely. Am I doing too much? You are doing the bare minimum. If you don't even have a tracker, I would go so far as to say, if it was possible, I would have took Nick to the vet and got him tagged, chipped like a dog. Yeah. Do they have the little tracker, underskin trackers for children? I would have done that. I would have. I would have. Absolutely. If I didn't think that the vet would have called the police on me, I would have got Nick chipped. I'm sorry. That's funny. Anyway, but back to what I was saying. Do not. I'm not going to just put this on moms. I'm going to put this on daddies too. Because the reality is, young men, your seeds are out there running amok. And realistically, as the non-custodial parent, whoever that may be, male or female, you have no say. Realistically, you have no say in what they're doing. None. Now you can go to court, get your rights, get some visitation, pay some child support, but you have your lookalikes, your namesakes, your DNA matches are out there running amok, and you have no idea what's going on with them, and no say so in what's going on with them. At no point, let me find out. Let me tell you some good stuff. Like I said, if I didn't think that the vet would have said, ma'am, you cannot shoot that in the child neck, and then call the police on me because they would, and the paddy wagon, not the paddy wagon, the crazy, whatever the little, back in the day, now y'all know I'm about to be 58. So back in the day, they used to call the wagon on people that was crazy and put a little straight jacket on them and stuff. I don't remember what it was called, but if I didn't think they would have called that on me because I said, can I please shoot this in the back of my son's neck? Just saying. But see, that's not a tracker. That's a tag. So you won the baby and now this one belongs. We should think of something like that. It was paddy wagon. All right. So yeah. Do they have that? Can we make Zap a kid with a little tracker thing? Anyway. I digress. Don't have children that you are not willing and able to take care of. Don't have more than you can willingly and ably take care of. Because one is hard enough. One child is hard enough. I can't imagine somebody with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 children. I can't imagine that. Because to me, that means the level of psychosis that I had for Nick would be multiplied by the amount of children I had. So I can't imagine having to be having to do mental gymnastics for more than one kid. physical gymnastics, financial gymnastics, emotional gymnastics. Y'all think that this is a straight line. Y'all think it's a straight line. Taking care, having a baby, taking care of them, growing them up, letting them free into the wild. It's not. It's flips and turns and somersaults and it's it's gymnastics and wrestling. It's suplexes and neck breakers and jumping off the top ring rope. Y'all don't understand how many times my son has dived on me like he was trying to send me home to my maker while playing. It's not a straight line. It's not a it's a world. It is a psychotic circus of it's like a big top for each kid. It's a separate big top because no two children are alike. Leilani, you have two girls and they are not alike. Hey, Big Easy, how you doing? Are your two girls alike? It's not a line. It's zigzag. It's you know what it is? Did anybody else ever opposite? She got opposites. Which means those are two diametrically opposed children that she has to navigate under one roof. And that's just two. I don't know this lady. And I hope that there's nothing going on in her home other than too many children and disinterest. Night and day, I raised them the same, and I thought, no, you did, but it doesn't matter how you raise them. At the end of the day, your children, each little individual child has a personality and a mentality that is 100% theirs and theirs alone. You can raise your children exactly the same. You did exactly the same for the first one as you did for the 15th one, but you got 15 different personalities and mentalities in there that you had no control over. I pray that the only thing going on in this lady's house is disinterest and too many kids. But as we've seen, the reality is that most of the time it's not. I'm gonna tell y'all something, and it's not gonna make any sense when I first say it, but I'll make it make sense. I'm opposed to the death penalty, and this is why I'm opposed. I'm opposed to the death penalty for two reasons. One, because it doesn't work. The death penalty has not deterred one murderer, one rapist, one serial killer from doing what the hell they wanted to do. So it doesn't work. That's number one. Number two is that if one person has been sent to the death penalty that was innocent and didn't deserve it, that is one person too many. That is why I'm opposed to the death penalty. I am opposed and judgmental of people who have multiple children that they can't and or don't want to take care of because one child left behind, one child abused, one child dying, one child being left to fend for themselves is one child too much. One child not feeling the unconditional love and seeing it, and not just feeling it, but seeing it in their parents' eyes when their parents look at them. It's not just what Nick felt when I'm around him. It is what he sees when he looks into my eyes as I look back at him. One child not feeling the warmth and the love and hell, the disappointment. Because you can't be disappointed in somebody you don't care about. You don't get mad with people that I don't care about. People and things that I don't care about, they can't disappoint me because I didn't expect anything from them. people or things that I don't care about can't hurt me because I don't expect anything from them. They mean nothing to me. Imagine the amount of children that have looked into their mother or father's eyes and seen nothing. And tell me that every child being born should be here. Tell me that. Tell me that a child not picked up and loved on and hugged on and told how much they love them and how much they are proud of them and how much and giving them. Tell me that a child not feeling that they should be here. Tell me a child that knows nothing but pain and punishment and disregard is blessed to be here. Tell me a child that doesn't feel warmth and love and feel security when they're in their mother or father's arms is blessed to be here. We can go all day about pro-choice, pro-life, and that every child that is conceived is a blessing, and that regardless of how the child was conceived, it was a blessing, or regardless of how many children they have, it's a blessing. But I want you to realistically look inside yourself and how you know and the person that you are and tell me that every child is blessed to be here. I watched, well, I talked about earlier about the ID channel and stuff like that. So the other night, me and DC, because we have nighttime shows that tell a story. She goes to sleep to it, I watch. Because a lot of times I don't go to sleep before she does. And that's something I get into some other time. Anyway, so we watched one, Evil Lives Here, about it was a daughter talking about her upbringing with her father. Now, he had 8 children and he did not want his children to call him by dad because his name was Freddie. He didn't want his children to call him dad. He wanted his children to call him Freddie because he didn't want people to know he had 8 children and how old he was. He hated his children. He abused them. He beat them. He molested them. He made up things to hurt them. And the mother did nothing. He hog-tied his daughter so that he could beat her for some imagined offense. The mother came in after the beating, untied her daughter, and told her to tell a teacher or a counselor because I'm too scared as your mother to do anything about it. Tell me that now she's an adult and she's scared of everything. Now, by the way, that she was blessed. Mm. I don't know this lady that we have in this video, and I hope that, like I said, the most that is wrong in that house is too many children and disinterest. But it pissed me off that she wasn't more grateful or elated to see that her child was unharmed and her baby was back. That her emotions started at her problem and not the fact that her child was missing. Pissed me off that she was on the phone but not to the police. It pissed me off that she could so casually talk about her child being able to get dressed on his own and get in and out of her house. And she, as a matter of factly, yeah, if you cannot take care of them, and I'm not just talking financially, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you hate your children, if you don't love your children, if you don't want your children, you might as well be broke. Because I'd rather struggle behind the scenes and love my child like I did, because that's what I did. I struggled behind the scenes. I bought it when it was on clearance. I bought it from the dollar store or the Family Dollar or the Dollar General. And you know that. I'd rather struggle and make sure that my child feels unconditional love every second of every minute of every day that he is on this earth, even from a distance. I don't text my child every day because I don't want him to get homesick and feel missing. But every day I look at his text messages and I text him every other day. Because every day that I don't text him, I feel like if I don't text him, that he feels like he's not missed. So I text him. It's crazy. Don't ask me. It's just, I'm crazy. I understand it. I have no problem with it. But I would rather be struggling behind the scenes and make sure that he's loved every second of every minute of every day that he's on this earth than for him to ever question for a second that he's loved. But he had everything he wanted. How many wealthy, rich children do you know don't talk to their parents no more? Once they old enough to not have to talk to them, they don't. Once they old enough to leave, they go. I know, right? Here's the thing. It's crazy. I want him to give him his independence and not feel like I'm sitting here miserable because he knows how I feel about him. So I don't text him. But when I don't text him, I feel like he don't feel like he loves. So then I have to text him if I don't text him anything, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. It's psychotic. I'm a little crazy. You know what I mean? I want to give him his independence and I want him to feel free to do whatever he wants to do and be whoever he wants to be and have the path in his life that he wants without him having to drag me along. But I want him to know that I got you, baby, even from a distance. You know, it's crazy. Hey, Morris. But things with children piss me off. Things with children and old people piss me off. So when baby said, we're going to talk about that today, I was like, cool, we talk about that today. Because, you know, kids don't have to be here. Kids don't mind with the college and text and call constantly. He is a boy, so I don't know if that's different. I don't know if that's why he doesn't. But, you know, him being in the military, he had to, especially during when he was in boot camp, he couldn't undo it until the weekend. So he would call on Sundays and we would talk and he would FaceTime. He's the reason I was thinking about getting an iPhone. I don't think I'm going to get one, but I might, you know, only because so I can FaceTime. But my wife has an iPhone, so as long as one of us have an iPhone. It's like I told DC, I said, I wish that we were independently wealthy enough that I could buy a big compound house or a big house to where we could foster kids, older children that people don't want, because don't nobody want to foster somebody that already got an attitude and has already been in the system and has already been this and the third. But these are the children that need us, because these are the children that are about to be out in the grown-up place. And we got enough crazy people out there. We got enough people who don't care out there. And I told her one time, I wished it, because I would foster the young adults, the teenagers that haven't quite aged out of the system, but nobody actively wants, because they are older and because they have seen so much, and because there's so much sadness in their eyes. I told her, we were sitting there talking, I said, I would do that. I would have a place for these children to study and to laugh and to just be a kid. It's what to call it. Yeah. Yeah, I would do that, because I can't imagine. I can't imagine it. Anyway, y'all, I done talked about these people long enough. Um, I want to thank everybody who came into the chat today, and I want to thank everybody's comments. Leilani, thank you, Lamores. Yes, somewhere where they could just be kids, somewhere where they don't have to get other kids ready for school, cook breakfast, walk them to the bus, make sure they get off the bus, make sure they do their homework, children that they didn't have, somewhere where you can sit down and do your homework or play your game without somebody calling your name and hollering at you because you quiet, or hollering at you because you laughing. I just, oh, thank you, Tebe. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking an hour or so out of your Saturday to come hang out with us. I'm sure baby will find something else for me to talk about, because you see the face that's on there with the little thing. That's what I was looking like when I was looking at the video. My face was balled up, and it was. Love your babies. Hug your babies. I don't care if they 30, 40, 50. I don't care. Love your babies. Give them the world that you can give them, so that they're going out there and make their own world. I love you too, Leilani. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so that every time we go live or drop a video, you guys can join us. I don't know what the next topic will be. Maybe y'all can hit that in the comments for me and we can talk about somebody else. You never know. If y'all come across a video and y'all think it's something I can talk about, y'all leave it in the comments or hit our email. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all taking time out of your day for me. And bye, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.